If you're broke, it's probably not your income. It's these 10 habits. And the worst part? You don't even notice it happening. Most of them feel completely normal. I'm Wally, and today we're calling all of them out. Here's the thing. The money advice that travels fast online is always loud. Buy this, invest in that, here's the hack that changed everything. But if you study people who actually built wealth quietly, no viral moment, no lucky break, the habits they share are painfully boring. And that's exactly the point. Boring done consistently beats exciting done occasionally every single time. Let's get into it. Habit 1. Drive something slightly embarrassing. The average new car payment right now is around $750 a month. And dealerships don't sell you cars. They sell you monthly payments designed to feel harmless. 6-year loans, 7-year loans, even 10-year car loans exist now. And by year 5 of that loan, you often owe more than the car is even worth. So people trade it in, roll the negative equity into a new loan, and start the whole trap over again. The system is built to keep you in a cycle. It's not an accident. Here's where people mess this up. They think the monthly payment is the real cost. It's not. A $750 monthly payment invested instead over 30 years at average market returns becomes over $1.6 million. The car you're driving to look successful is literally costing you a retirement. Most people don't realize this until they're 45, still making payments, and wondering why they feel behind. A used Toyota or Honda that's a few years old has already taken the hardest hit on depreciation. It's reliable, cheap to insure, and gets you to the same destination as a $55,000 truck. This one seems small. The math says otherwise. Already uncomfortable? Good. That means it's working. Habit 2. Pay yourself first like it's a bill you cannot skip. Most people pay their bills, spend what they want, and save whatever's left. The problem is that nothing is usually left. Spending naturally expands to fill every dollar available to it. And every app on your phone, every ad in your feed, every limited time offer is engineered to help that happen. Flip the order. When your paycheck hits, savings and investments move first, automatically, before your brain even registers the full amount. Then you live on what remains. Your lifestyle adjusts to the smaller number instead of consuming the larger one. Here's the data. Automatic savings enrollment gets participation rates around 94%. Voluntary saving, where you manually choose each month, gets 64%. That 30-point gap represents real people who fully intended to save but kept finding a better use for the money right now, every single month. Treat your future self like a bill. Automate it, pay it first, then live on the rest. Habit 3. Build a meal rotation and eat what you already have. This next one is going to sound like your parents talking. Bear with Wally. Pick 4 or 5 cheap meals you genuinely like. Put them on repeat. Your grocery bill becomes predictable. You stop impulse buying. You waste almost nothing. The average person throws away around $1,500 in food every year. Not eats badly, literally throws it in the trash. And the food industry is fine with that. They designed the packaging, the portions, and the buy 3, save 1 deals, knowing a chunk of it would rot in your fridge. That waste is priced into the system. Be honest. How many times have you bought produce with the best intentions and watched it slowly decompose in the back of the fridge? One rule fixes this. Before your next grocery run, open the fridge, open the freezer, open the pantry. Cook from what's already there first. You'll be surprised how many actual meals are hiding in your own kitchen. Habit 4. Shop in person instead of online. This is the one nobody talks about. Online shopping has removed every single piece of friction between you and spending money. Saved card info, one-click buying, recommendations that know exactly what you were already thinking about. This isn't convenience. It's a spending machine designed by people whose entire job is to separate you from your money as quickly and painlessly as possible. Shopping in person reintroduces friction. You have to drive somewhere, walk through a store, carry the thing, wait in a line. That inconvenience is the point. It gives your brain enough time to ask whether you actually need it. Try this for 1 month. Delete the shopping apps. Remove your saved payment info. Make any non-essential purchase require a physical trip to a store. Most impulses won't survive the extra steps. You'll realize how many purchases you were making on autopilot, not because you needed something, but because buying it required zero effort. Habit 5. Live 2 years behind your income. This next one is the hardest on the entire list, and it's the one that makes the biggest difference. Every time you get a raise, resist the urge to upgrade anything. Keep the same apartment, the same car, the same routine. Bank the difference. Pretend the raise didn't happen for about 2 years. Here's why this matters. Goldman Sachs research found that 40% of people earning over $500,000 still live paycheck to paycheck. $500,000 a year and still stressed about money. Their expenses simply grew to match their income at every single stage. A bigger paycheck didn't fix anything, it just made the trap more expensive. The 2-year rule creates a widening gap between what you earn and what you need. That gap is what builds wealth. Your lifestyle still improves, just on a delay. And during that delay, you're compounding money that used to immediately disappear. Most people skip this one because watching others upgrade while you hold steady is uncomfortable. That discomfort is where the actual financial advantage gets built. 5 habits in. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most people who clicked on this video. Up to this point, everything Wally's talked about is defense, cutting losses, plugging holes. The next 5? This is where people actually start pulling ahead. Habit 6. Plug the daily leak. Make your own coffee. But this isn't really about coffee. It's about the daily leak. A specialty drink every weekday runs somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 a year. That's one habit. Now, stack the snack you grabbed on the way, the lunch you didn't plan for, the drink because you were thirsty. Individually, every single one of those feels like nothing. Together, thousands a year in spending you genuinely cannot even remember. You don't have an income problem, you have a leakage problem. And every coffee shop, vending machine, and delivery app is designed to keep those leaks running. Plug the daily leak. Make the coffee at home, pack a lunch, carry a water bottle. Save the coffee shop for when you're actually sitting down with someone. That's worth paying for. The autopilot caffeine mission is not. Habit 7. Bring your own food everywhere. Work lunches bought out can cost $3,000 to $4,500 a year, depending on where you live. The same meals made at home cost a fraction of that. That gap, around $2,000 or more, is real money sitting on the table. And this extends to travel too. First thing when you arrive somewhere, hit a grocery store. Stock up on breakfast, snacks, a few simple meals. Go out a couple of times for the actual experience, not for every meal by default. Nobody's posting stories about their hotel room grocery haul. But the people doing it are the same people who travel more often, because each trip costs them significantly less. Habit 8. Pick a wardrobe and stop shopping for clothes. The average person spends around $1,800 a year on clothing, and most of it gets worn a handful of times before disappearing into a donation pile. Fast fashion and social media have created this constant pressure to refresh what you look like. New trends every month, new collections every season. That pressure is expensive, and it's designed to never stop. The alternative is simple. Build a small wardrobe of quality pieces that work together and actually fit. Then stop. A $250 item worn 100 times costs $2.50 per wear. A $25 item worn twice costs $12.50 per wear. The math favors quality plus consistency every time. One less decision every morning. One less category quietly draining money every month. Habit 9. Have a hobby that pays you back. This one flips everything. Instead of cutting expenses, you're adding income from something you already do. And here's the pattern with self-made millionaires. It's almost never one income source. It's 3 or more on average. But forget the millionaire framing for a second. Even an extra $200 to $500 a month from something you actually enjoy changes the math on everything else in this video. More emergency cushion, bigger investments, faster momentum. And here's the part most people miss. A productive hobby that makes money usually replaces a consumptive hobby that costs money. You're not adding work, you're swapping what you do with your time. The person gaming 4 hours a night and the person building a side project 4 hours a night have the same 24 hours. The difference shows up in their bank account 12 months later. Habit 10. Make the boring feel automatic. This is the one that holds every other habit together. Every single item on this list will feel hard for about 2 weeks. After that, it just becomes how you operate. The meal rotation stops being restrictive and starts being easy. The savings transfer stops being a sacrifice and starts being invisible. The used car stops being embarrassing and starts being a statement. The mistake isn't not knowing this stuff. Almost everyone knows it. The mistake is waiting for motivation to start. Motivation fades. Systems don't. Set the system up once, and it carries you. Here's what Wally wants you to take away. You don't need to do all 10. You need to do 3. Pick the 3 that hit you hardest while watching this, and actually start them this week. Not next month, not when things settle down, this week. Because most people don't lose money in one big mistake. They lose it quietly, every single day, in habits that feel completely normal. Wealth isn't built by doing more. It's built by stopping the things quietly draining you every day. The data says it takes about 28 years on average on a normal salary. Not genius, not luck, not timing, just consistency, compounding. Wally will be here every week making money make sense.